Hi, we're going to talk about fear and comfort zones today. This kind of popped up after a conversation with a friend, and she was saying that she was really struggling to figure out what to do because every time she thought of a situation, she kept thinking like, what if this happens? And she was kind of becoming really anxious about like the endless possibilities of what could happen. And I was reading this book, which is super old. Susan Jeffers' Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's been around for like 20 years or something. And but it's just one of those books that every time you need a little reminder of how crazy you're being, you can pick up this one. So I'm going to read out a little example from it that rang way too close to home for, I'm sure, lots of us. If I call him, maybe I think I'm being too pushy. But if I don't call him, he'll think I'm not interested. But if I call him and his message machine is on, I'll wonder where he is, and it will ruin my whole evening because I'll know he's out with another person. But if I don't call, I'll wonder anyway, maybe I shouldn't go out tonight. He might call and then he'll think I'm out with someone else and he'll think I don't care. But if I call, he'll really know I'm interested and he'll probably start backing away from me. I wonder why he hasn't called. Maybe it was because I was too cool this afternoon when I bumped into him at lunch. Maybe I should have been warmer. I wish I'd been wearing something more attractive. He seemed a little cool too, actually. I wonder if it's because he heard I went out with Alan the other night. Well, I don't think he should expect me to sit at home every night waiting for him to call. And it goes on. It just made me laugh because it's one of those things where you sit there with so many situations. It could be work or whatever, and you just start to think, what if this happens, and why? Like, and you start creating this like hypothetical situation in your mind that hasn't even happened, and it kind of puts the fear into you of even making a decision because there's so many what ifs that you get stuck on. So this might ring a bell to some of you. I know, like with work recently, I've had it, so I wanted to stop teaching full time. I'd sort of lost it wasn't fulfilling my purpose anymore, and so I had to make some decisions. And initially it was kind of that fear of like, but what if I stop teaching and there's nothing else out there? Or what if I start this new career and it all fails? And actually it's so easy to get yourself in the spiral of like thinking about a choice and then thinking, but what if this happens if I stay in this, what I am right now? But then what if this happens if I leave? And you're kind of thinking of like lose situation. And then in the book, what she talks about is actually you can think about it in a win-win way. So I'll go over that in a minute. And the reason this is so important is because fear will constantly be there in our life. There will always be things that we've got to take risks on. There will always be fears that pop up for us. And it's not about controlling every aspect of our life so we don't fear it. It's about changing our mindset so when fear arises, we know that we can handle whatever comes up. And that's one of the key points in the book, is that it's not about stopping the fear, it's about knowing that no matter the outcome, we have faith that we will handle whatever comes up. And that's such a nice way of thinking about it, I think, because it's like, yeah, no matter what happens, there's no wrong answer, there's no wrong outcome. It's just, if this happens, then this is how I'll deal with it, and if this happens, I'll deal with it. Like, it's not a biggie. So if you are someone who feels like fear's holding them back a bit, I recommend reading this book and keeping it with you. And there's a book, is it 5 Regrets of the Dying or something, and one of the main regrets is not allowing themselves to be happier. And one of the reasons for that was because of the fear of change. So it's, I don't know about you, but I definitely do not want to get to the end of my life and look back and think, I wish I had done that, but I was too scared or I was too fearful. So I'm doing everything I can to make sure that that is definitely not a regret of mine when I'm older or even tomorrow. So yeah, so many fears might just be holding us back in our comfort zone. So say, here's our comfort zone in here, and what we need to do is every day just start doing little things to expand our comfort zone, because the only way to get rid of a fear is by doing that thing. which is kind of a hilarious thought because so many of us try and sort of escape the fears or, you know, think that we can run away from them or just ignore them. But if you want to overcome a fear, the only way to overcome it is by actually doing that thing. So it's been quite a fun journey for me, kind of choosing things each day that are outside of my comfort zone, but that will increase my self-worth. So I choose little things like even making the videos, for example. Like, I'm super comfortable talking in front of all the children at school, but when it comes to adults, it's a different story. So my first step to expand my comfort zone was to make a video and put it on YouTube, but like private, just to actually do that for a step. And then once I had done that and I now was comfortable with that, I did the next step, which was to make it published. And that was pretty huge because, you know, straight away the thoughts came into my head, which is, you know, what if they don't like it? What if they think I'm boring, or they, you know, no one's interested in what I have to say? What if they comment on my appearance or my voice, or, you know, so many things that kind of come up. But actually it was the thought of none of that matters because I'll handle it if it arises. And actually it didn't arise, and so now I've broken through my comfort zone with that, and I'm already excited to think what will happen next. I think that's one of the biggest things when you start to realize that you can handle your fears, is that it kind of gets exciting to think what else you will do. So now whenever anything comes up that I'm feeling, you know, nervous about or fearful of or whatever, I just get this sort of burst of excitement because I'm gonna have to do it. Like I keep thinking about like starting, I really want to run some resorts, and now that it's in my head, I think I'm just gonna have to do it because it's kind of terrifying, the thought, but it's also so exciting. And yeah, so it's a really nice thought to start thinking like each time you overcome something else becomes possible. So you could write down some of your fears at the moment, try and put them into categories of like things that you have control over and things that you don't, things that just happen. So things that happen will be like, you know, some people are terrified that they might have a car accident or become disabled or get an illness, or, you know, horrible things like your children might have an accident or things like that. But those things you cannot control. Those things are just things that happen in life. And then there are the things that we have control over. So whether or not we want to change our career, end a relationship, make decisions about like maybe starting exercise or all those sorts of things. And those are things that we can control. And then what you could do is put down the positive outcomes for making that choice. Okay, so actually taking the risk. So what are the positive outcomes of doing that? And then hopefully you'll be able to see that no matter what comes up, and then tell yourself, I will handle it. So have faith in yourself, make those choices out of, you know, you've got full control out of your choices, you can handle what the outcome is, and just start to feel really positive about the fact that actually, no matter what it is, you're going to learn amazing things getting from your choice to point A or your choice to point B. So either way, you're going to learn so many new things, so many experiences getting from your choice to A or your choice to B. It doesn't actually matter. There's no right or wrong answer. It's going to happen. So you just need to get to that point, and then you can reevaluate. There's no point looking back and saying, what if I'd made the other decision? It's just, I made that choice, and now I'm going to handle whatever's happened and move on. And hopefully you just start to feel the enjoyment of expanding your comfort zone. Hope you've enjoyed this talk. We'll probably speak next week about maybe there's so many. I want to talk about sort of mindfulness and meditation and happiness and gratitude, and I'm finding it really hard to pull those ones apart at the moment. So I'm not sure if it's going to come into one big merge talk or whether or not I'll find a way to separate all those. But yeah, I can't wait to talk next week. Please comment again, write me a message on Facebook or whatever. It's been really nice to hear from all of you. And for those of you that are subscribed, all it means is that I don't have to keep individually sending it to you on WhatsApp or whatever if you've asked for them. So yeah, we'll talk next week. Bye.